Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. I am Locutus aboard. You will respond to my questions. I am Locutus aboard. You are bored. I am Locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am Locutus aboard. You are bored. I am Locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am Locutus aboard. There are 4 lights. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth. Scientific truth, or historical truth, or personal truth. It is the guiding principle of a Starfleet is based. Now you can't find it within yourself to stand up, tell the truth. You don't deserve to wear that uniform. This is becoming a speech.
You're the captain, sir. You're entitled.
Not entitled to ramble on about something everyone knows. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so.
You just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. Quite hypnotic.
Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so.
You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly.
My love is a people longing still for that which longer nurses the disease. You'll have to go again. In space, I do not love thee. With mine eyes they be 1,000 errors see. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise. In despite of you are pleased to know. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You'll have to go again. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelan, and Tanagra. I am Locutus aboard. You will respond to my questions. I am Locutus aboard. You are bored. I am Locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am Locutus aboard. You are bored. I am Locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am Locutus aboard. There are 4 lights. simple truth. It is the guiding principle of a Starfleet base. Now you can't find it within yourself to stand up, tell the truth. You don't deserve to wear that uniform. This is becoming a speech.
You're the captain, sir. You're entitled.
Not entitled to ramble on about something everyone knows.
Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so.
You just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. Quite hypnotic.
You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly.
My love is a people longing still for that which longer nurses the disease. You'll have to call again. In faith, I do not love thee. With mine eyes they be 1,000 errors see. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise. In despite of you are pleased to go. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You'll have to call again.
Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra. I am Locutus aboard. You will respond to my questions. I am Locutus aboard. You are bored. I am Locutus aboard. You will assist us. I am Locutus aboard. You are bored. I am Locutus aboard. Lock phases on that vessel. I am Locutus aboard. There are 4 lights.
Hello. Welcome. It's too hot for this, so I'm taking it off. Welcome. This is stream number 4. Thank you for being here. I'm very excited. Today we've got some special stuff. Today is very special. You can't see it right now, but sitting right here, my hands are on it, is something really special. Yeah, I don't have the headphones on. We're going right out of the. We're going just out of the computer speakers. So if anything happens, you might hear. Got the mic here and then speakers. Things will be happening. So today is going to be very special. Today I'm going to be doing stuff with the camera, my company's camera. Normally on the streams. Welcome, Josh. Oh, nice. Josh the introvert. I'm an introvert too, my man. I came here from your 3-point lighting tutorial. Super excited for what's to come. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm glad the tutorial got made. I'm glad you made your way here via the tutorial. I don't know why your chat came up twice. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, so I'm streaming now Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in New York. And why is that coming up multiple times? Very strange. It should be going away after 20 seconds. Is that happening on this too? Yeah, it's happening there too. Interesting. Seems we've got our first bug. I may have to turn the chat off. Is it going to come up again? I don't know what that was about. Well, whatever. If that keeps happening, I might have to turn the chat off. But welcome, Josh. Thanks for being here. So normally I'm streaming, I'm editing in Premiere. That's usually what I'm doing. I have a show that me and my business partner Cody made like a year ago called Tell Us Damn It. But I got too busy and I it was too much work to edit amongst all of the other stuff that was going on for my company. So yeah, I was trying to figure out what to stream. So for now, I'm going to be streaming me editing those videos. But I want to take a break from editing those videos and doing Premiere stuff to, there it is again. So yeah, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn off that thing. Turn that off. I'm going to turn on the secondary option there. I've got the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat I can turn on. So it seems that the restream chat is screwing up because it doesn't look like you're not commenting that more than once. I don't know why that's happening. It's coming in there too. Very strange. Very, very strange. I don't know why that's happening. Huh. Josh, are you typing that a lot? Like, what's going on? Why is that happening? Very strange. All right, well, I'm going to have to turn the chat off. I'll keep Twitch chat on for now. Very strange. Okay, well, whatever. It is what it is. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe if I, like, restart the whole computer and come back and restart and then do it again, like, next week. I'll figure that out. That's not supposed to happen. I only typed it once. Yeah, Josh, I don't know what's going on. That's very strange. Maybe what I can try to do is, let me see if I can figure this out. Let me go in here. Refresh browser when scene becomes active. Refresh. I'm going to refresh the cache. Shut down source when not visible. I guess so. Refresh browser when scene becomes active. Yeah, let's try that. So let's do none there. Okay, let me undo it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if that fixes it or makes it worse. Anyway, I'm just kind of stalling a little bit to get more people to come in and join the stream. What I am going to do is I'm going to reach over there and turn on this other light real quick. I'm still here. I'm still here. You might see a little bit of a light on my face now. Hey, who's that? Mona! Hey, Mona, you know what's so funny, Mona? Is that, so Mona's a friend of mine. She reached out to me and was like, I have a question about editing. And I was like, hey, well, tune into the stream. Oh, it's happening again. See, she only typed it once. I'm going to have to turn the chat off for now. And I'll just have to, like, shout you guys out. Or maybe what I could do... Oh, that would be kind of weird. Anyway, well, whatever. I don't know what's going on with the chat. The chat's broken right now. It's always something. Yesterday, Twitch didn't seem to be working. Now the chat's acting strange. I don't know what's going on. I'll just try to read the chat as best I can. So Mona reached out to me. She was like, I have a question about editing. And I was like, oh, well, I'm super busy this week, but if you tune into the stream, I edit in the stream. And it turns out that I'm not editing today because last minute I decided, Mona, I forgot, I'm sorry, but last minute I decided to do stuff with my camera gear. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. I guess we'll switch over to it now. So really quickly, I'm going to do one little thing. Because in my other setup, I've got the chats in there as well. Oh, you know what? That might be the problem because I duplicated them. So I wonder if that's the problem. I don't know. Very strange. Maybe because yeah, but it was coming up more than once though. I don't know. I'm just gonna turn that off. Yeah. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the C200. Boom. So I got a side angle set up today. Hello. I guess I could put myself in the green screen on the bottom of the screen there, but I don't know. I feel like that might be a little strange. Let's see what it looks like. Screw it. I'm going to try something funny. So let's do this. We're going to go add. We're going to go this. We're going to go add. I'm going to lower myself and put myself here. Oh, this is trippy. Check that out. Whoa, weird. So, yeah, but the thing is, if I look this way, you're going to see the side of my head. Well, anyway, so the camera's right here, but I have it cropped out on the green screen. So, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to break this thing down and put it back together. That's what I'm going to do. You could see that I've got all sorts of stuff. So this is the camera here. This is the C200 camera. But there's everything's on it. So we got this rig for it here. This rig down here is from a separate brand. This is a separate thing. The EVF is over here on this thing. The battery, this whole rig is like put together. But what I wanted to do was put it together for the stream. So I was thinking, well, I'll disassemble it all, and then on stream I'll put it together. But then I was like, well, why do the work of disassembling it off stream? I might as well just disassemble it on screen too. So here's the finished product of the camera. And I'm hitting the thing. So here's the finished product. I'm going to actually take it off so you can see it like on my shoulders. So this is such, I'm so like excited that we like own this. So yeah, there's the camera. This is an awesome rig. We've never, my company's never really owned awesome rigging like this. We always usually rent it, but we're in the market for a new camera, and we decided that if we're going to spend money on a new camera, we might as well get the awesome accoutrements and rigging that go with it, so we can have, you know, the most professional stuff. So we got this cool cage, this handle here, and this tripod plate, and it's just like the proest, you know. I'm not going to hook up the camera like so you can see it because there's no need, but yeah. So this is the rig. It's pretty sick. It's pretty awesome looking. Take the lens cap off. Whoop. There it is. Pretty cool. It's got the battery back there for the counterweight. It's balanced pretty good. I wish actually the battery was heavier. I might want to add weight back here at some point just to give it a little bit more balance. It feels slightly top heavy, slightly front heavy, but this handle is awesome for that. Good technique is to keep the elbow like into the body. Jay Martinez, dude, that thing is so dope. Yeah, dude, I know. Look how sick this is. It's pretty awesome. Shoot this way for you so you can see. So, let me throw it back on here. Nice satisfying click. Like that. So, yeah. If you have any questions about the camera or about the rig, let me know. So I guess one thing I'd like to say is check out this cool so the EVF here, this thing, the electronic viewfinder, there's usually a cable that comes around and then plugs into the camera, but I don't have the cable on there right now because I'm never going to turn it on right now. But so check this out. The stock EVF holder, I got to be careful because there's a screw. The stock EVF holder is this thing. This is the stock holder. So what you do is you connect this part of the EVF to here. You can see the screw. There's a little screw. You can see the arrow for the screw there. You connect it here so the EVF comes out this way. And then this part gets connected to the camera somewhere. There's like a handle. There's another handle. Actually, this is the stock handle for the... actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get rid of this for now. Just going to take that off of there. put it on the ground for now. So you can see me. Whoops. Yeah, this is gonna be a tight like juggling act of moving equipment around. So so this is the stock handle. It screws onto the top, and then what you do is you screw this thing. Now once again, I got to be careful, but you screw this thing in somewhere. There's all sorts of like mounting points and stuff. And you know, the EVF goes there, and then you can screw this thing in like here. This is where they want you to put it, I think. Let's do it. I didn't get an Allen key out yet. I didn't think I would need the Allen key yet. Anyway, it's not screwed in tight. But so the handle goes on the camera, and then this thing's here, and it's got all of these articulation points. So this moves this way, and then this. There's a million ways to move this thing, which is pretty cool. But it is a little bit cumbersome. And of course, now I can't get it out. I need the Allen key. Hang on, let me get an Allen wrench out of here. I wanted to save this box. So let me actually, since we're here, let's just do it. Let's tighten it up. So that's like how they want you to do it. And the EVF goes on here like this. And it's got many different ways to articulate it. This way, that way, this way, and stuff like that. But it, you know, it's a little, it's a kind of a pain in the ass. And when I'm shooting with the camera, I want to put, you know, I want like as much customization as possible. And it also, like, it doesn't really stay level. It's just a little bit of a pain in the butt, and it's awkward, this piece. Can't really explain it much beyond that. So what I had been doing until we got these like rigging stuff, what I had been doing is using an Israel arm. So I didn't even use this thing. I just put this away. And what I would do is I took the EVF and I screwed the EVF into the end of this Israel arm, and I attached this thing to somewhere on the camera. I don't exactly remember where. And this thing is an articulating arm. It's also called an Israel arm. So what it does is it's you know, you can mount something and then, like, you know, put it wherever you need it. So if the camera's like this, I can put the EVF right here, you know, tighten this down. Once you tighten this screw, the Israel arm stays put. It's pretty awesome tool for rigging on cameras and stuff. Israeli arm, articulating arm. This brand is Delve Cam. I don't know if you can see that, but I have at least 3 or 4 of these things floating around. And actually, I'm really psyched that we now have the rig on, because now I get one of these back, because I've been down one because it's been on my camera rig for a while. So I'm glad to now have this back. These are great. Like, you can, you know, you can put a lavalier, you can put a wireless video transmitter on this. You can hold a small little monitor with one of these. These things are so useful. I'm gonna put it down over here for now. Yeah. And I gotta say, like, I did a lot of research on, like, the types of rigs that I wanted. Yeah, so I ended up getting 2 different, almost full rigs, like cage and like base plate. I knew I wanted a shoulder with an extending arm to put the grip on the arm, and obviously the cable to connect the two. I knew I wanted that. So I knew I wanted this extension arm. Let's just put it on. So I knew I wanted the extension arm. The grip comes with the camera. I'm going to break it all down so you can see what it looked like before. I knew I wanted this extension arm, and I knew I wanted the shoulder rig here. And I also knew I wanted this type of plate. This type of plate down here is actually a Sony invented plate, but this isn't Sony. This is some other thing. It's called, oh my God, you know, I forget what it's called. But it's one of these plates here where it kind of looks like an arrow. You can see it kind of looks like an arrow. And the way it works is there's this little V catch here, and you slide it forward, and when you slide it forward, you can see this little knob comes out and keeps it in place. And then what you do to release is you pull this little thumb thing down and you pull this out. Of course, I can't do it because I don't have two hands. Pull this little thumb thing down, pull this out, and it moves the knob back in, releasing it. Also, it has a little sort of catch right here too. It's a little bracket that kind of catches on this knob, this nubbin back there. See right there? That little nubbin kind of slides in here. And there's no there's nothing that connects the two. It's just a little bracket to keep it centered. This is where the catch comes in and holds it tight. So what you do is this has a you know, your tripods come with plates. So you put your tripod plate into this plate, and then this plate connects to that camera. And what's really cool about this and why this is important is that it's really sturdy, it's really strong, but it frees up the shoulder plate here. So this sits on there like that, and then you can take it off, and then you're shooting. Boom, you're handheld. So it's, for me, being able to switch between different rigs, different setups quickly is extremely important for the way we shoot. So that's part of why the rig is the way it is, and I'll get to that later. But for right now, you can see we can go from, tighten that down. We can go from shooting on a tripod. Obviously, there would be a handle here. I took it off for now. But we can go shooting on a tripod. You know, it's like, all right, what's the next shot? Oh, we're going to go shoot this thing handheld. Want to go handheld? Okay, hang on. Boom. Handheld, ready to go. Instantly. There's no taking a plate off, putting on a shoulder rig. There's no setup. It's ready to go instantly. That's what makes this so valuable. And also, I didn't get to it before, but the EVF, what's really cool about this setup, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'll lower this a little bit. So this this is gonna be the whole stream, just me like hang on. Move this out of the way. So this EVF here has multiple points of articulation. Whereas this one does too. It's just all kind of condensed, and it's also a little like and like I had the Israel arm, so that it was like kind of freeform. This now has, you push this little button down here, you push this button down, and it frees up this axis of rotation. Let go and it locks. Push it down, locks. So you have that axis of rotation. You have now a button over here. This button here. You push this button, and you have this axis of rotation. And then you have this button here. Push this one. You have that axis of rotation. So that's pretty sick. And what's really cool is, how do you get the EVF off of here? Well, what you do is you got to unscrew this little nut. And you think, oh man, so I got to go into my bag, grab an Allen wrench just to take the EVF off? Nope. Look at this. There's a little spot for an Allen wrench in the rig, right there. So you take that, bring it over here, loosen her up a little bit more, and boom, off she comes. And you can just put this in your bag as is. Actually, what I would do as well is I would tighten up that screw just a little bit, you know, just to get it not more than finger tight, just so it doesn't fall out. But boom, then there's the EVF is off. That's awesome. So once again, let me put that back on. Thanks, Mono. Yeah, it is super cool. Take a sip of my coffee. Oh, yeah. let me put this back. Check this out. And there's a little magnet right there. See that? It's a little magnet. So it catches it, sucks it up. So that's the EVF. So when I saw this EVF rig, I was like, that's awesome. It's the best solution. Have it now. I never actually like went to a store and like played with this. I wish I had done sort of like on the field, like in the store research to get it in my hands. That would have been the best thing. But I really did a lot of research. I watched a video on it, and I looked at different types, and I really wanted this EVF system. To me, this was just like so smart. It was just so smart. Now, there's one axis of rotation that it doesn't do that I wish it did do, and that's this way. So, like, I wish I could flip the thing this way, right? You can't. You can go this way, that way, and this way. But it doesn't go this way. There's no rotation this way. And you would think, well, why would you want to do that? Well, I could rotate it this way and then flip the monitor 180, and now the monitor is sitting right above the lens. So it's not over here. So if I wanted to film myself, you know, I could do this. And that's cool. But it's like if I want, but I don't know, just having it a little bit like over the lens would be better. Or, you know, there's certain situations, I don't know. You never know when you're going to need that rotation to happen. You never know when you're going to need the monitor to be there. But sometimes you need it to be there. Like, so, yeah, I guess, yeah, this works. So, yeah, like, okay. Yeah, so like now I'm facing it this way. So if I'm ever operating from this side, I can see, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, it's probably the least likely situation to have it that way, but it would be nice. And the cool thing too is now if I release this one more time and I go handheld with it, obviously I have the handle a little bit too high than where I would like it, but it's really cool because I can, you know, I can put it, and it's pretty easy, like one-handed. It's a little cumbersome, but like I'm still doing it one-handed. And there it is. Look, it's right in front of my face, which is good. It's like in the perfect position. And if I have a wide angle lens on, I can move it up here. Get it out of the way. Just put it where it's comfortable. It is a little close. I do wish it was like maybe an inch further away. So I wish this part right here was an inch longer. I could slide this out. That's another part of articulation right there. Ugh. There we go. This part right here, you loosen it here, and the whole thing can slide back about 2 inches. But for me, it's actually a little too short. Like I would like it, and that's the furthest away I can get it. And it's still a little close to my face. But it's nearly perfect. It's nearly perfect. So that's the EVF. Now it's sitting on a cage. I'll show you the cage in a little bit. It's hard to tell the difference between the camera and the cage. And then we have this rig down here, the base plate down here. So there's a lot going on here. There's a base plate here. There's another base plate here. So you might be asking yourself, well, why are there two? There's this one and this one. Well, once again, I'm going for quickness. So I'll get into what I'm unscrewing right here in a second. But I'm gonna now what I just unplugged was the grip, because this grip right here has a record button. It has the iris dial. You can control all the menus. You can do just about everything you need right from the grip, but you got to connect it to the camera. So when you get the extension arm, it comes with this extender cable to plug it into the camera. So I unplug that. The reason being is I'm also unplugging the battery power back here. So what I'm doing is, how am I going to show this to you? I got to go this way, otherwise I hit my light. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to unscrew this one here. And then what I can do is, I also set this up so that the clearance is pretty tight, but that's good. Now the camera's off. So now we have this whole thing, the arm, the base plate, the grip, the battery is now, it's now separated from that easily. And the reason why I have this other plate here is because I have yet another device, my glide cam. So this is a stabilization rig. It comes with weights. There's a vest and an arm to put all the weight of the camera on your body. This goes into the arm here and it becomes a steady cam, but the brand name is glide cam. I just happen to have another quick access plate receiver here. The receiver on the rig here is the same receiver as this. So I can come right out of the handheld rig, the tripod rig, and I can go directly into the glide cam. Boom. Now I'm in the glide cam. And once I fully balance this thing, this isn't balanced at all, you know, and I would use a different lens, and I would probably have this EVF in a different location. So I would probably do the EVF like this, probably back here, like that, probably. See, once again, it would be nice to be able to flip the lens around a little bit more, but it is what it is. You know, like I would love it. You know, like maybe like this. Yeah, see, it doesn't go all the way. I want it to keep going. I want to be here, but you know, it's not perfect. So what I would probably end up doing with the EVF is something like that. So it's as far back as it can go. Let's go like this. It's as far back as it can go, because when you operate the glide cam, you're holding it like this. So you want to be able to see it. Ideally, it would be like right here. The EVF would be a little bit more center in line. So with it off to the side, you have to like counterbalance it on this side with something. So I might want to add some weight on this side, or, you know, I would have to unscrew these and slide it that way. See how it's offset now this way, or maybe the other way actually. No, this way. And honestly, it's going to be a challenge to balance this with this all the way over here, because it may have to go even further that way to be fully in balance. So I'm going to have to figure that out and put some kind of weight over here, which is why later I want to try to get this microphone mounted on the opposite side. And then maybe having that plus a microphone will actually be a good counterweight to the EVF on this side. But yeah, isn't that, so that's why I have the extra plate system hooked up, because I have multiple of these receivers here. These are Manfrotto quick release plates. I have a few of these on different rigs. And the reason why I have a few of these release plates is so I can move the camera to different stabilization methods without having to like change a base plate. So let me take this off. Put that there. Move the glide cam back over here. So check it. Let me move this over here for a second. So check this out. So this rig, the bottom plate, the base plate, has its own, can't take it out, of course, because the battery's in the way. So let me remove the battery. So the base plate has its own tripod plate, or, you know, quick release plate. This is the base plate, or the base platform. And this is the quick release plate that goes into the platform down here. So what I did, so normally if you didn't have many different mechanisms the camera goes into, if you don't have Yeah, if you don't need to switch the camera. See, I'm going for speed. I'm going for speed and moving the camera around quickly. You don't have that necessity if you're just going to keep it on this thing and go handheld all day. Then you would just put this base plate right into the bottom of the camera. You wouldn't have to worry about any of that shit. But what I did was, I don't want that. I have the base plate. So I also like to have, so if this shoulder mount is here, this is where it goes on your shoulder. I want the camera sitting on my shoulder. So this is, uh-oh. Check. I don't know what just happened. Are we still live? Are we still live? Okay, I think I just accidentally... I think we're still live, yeah. Someone tell me if we're still live in the chat. I think we are. Yeah. I hit the computer and my monitor went offline for a second. But I think we're still around. I think we're still here. Cool. So here's the shoulder rig right here. I want the full weight of the camera on my shoulder, like that. That's basically where I want it, or thereabouts. To have the camera anywhere further than that is going to rely on my arms to keep it up, and that's going to add to fatigue. That's going to make me tired much more quickly. But if I can keep the camera on my shoulder, then that's better. It seems that a lot of base plate designers and Canon in general don't seem to have that fundamental understanding of camera weight distribution. The weight of the camera should be on your shoulder. It shouldn't be up here. And yeah, it's good to have a battery as a counterbalance, but batteries are getting lighter and lighter. These batteries are awesome, but they're light. They're not that heavy. So wherever the center of mass is, that should be on my shoulder. But of course, it took me many tries to be able to figure out how to get the camera over my shoulder, and I'm pushing it to the limit. Look how far back on this plate. You have all this clearance. You have all this room to like move it on, put it onto the camera. But I'm backed up all the way up here, barely just making it, so that the camera can sit right on the shoulder piece, right on the shoulder mount. So that's annoying. Also, with any rigs like this, you definitely want to try to have 2 screws. You don't want the whole rig relying on 1 screw, number 1, and also having 2 screws counteracts any kind of torque on it. If you have 2 points of mounting, it's harder for the thing to twist. If you have 1 point of mounting, even if you tighten it down with a machine, eventually it's going to start to twist. But having 2 is better. You might notice, I don't have it here, but on the bottom of this too, there's also 2 screws holding that in. Whew, it's hot in here. I almost don't want to take that off because I had it perfect. Eric, still live. Okay, great. Thank you, Eric. Okay, so I'm already in the process of breaking this all down. So let's keep it going. I'm going to move... I'm going to move this out of the way for now. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a picture of this base plate, so I don't forget exactly how I had it. Because I have it perfect. And for the stream, I'm breaking it all down. It's hot. Okay, so I guess I'll talk about the battery a little bit too. So the battery is, this is the plate. You get the battery and the plate usually. Well, no, the plate was separate. So here's the plate. You got to get a plate that has the wire tap out that matches your camera. Luckily, Canon decided to use a pretty standard battery input. The Red uses this. Arri tends to use these. So luckily, it's not anything crazy. And it attaches to the DC input right here. I also have this battery just in case. But yeah, and here's the cradle. So this is the charging unit. I don't have it plugged in at the moment, but you plug these into the wall, and you charge them, turning that on, and then they charge. You check these little things right here. That tells if all the lights light up, it's fully charged, and you know that tells you the battery life. So yeah, I'm gonna put that down here. So there's the plate. I'm gonna put the plate here. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna break this all down. So the camera's off. I'm going to take the battery off. We're going to take the lens off. Very important to make sure that because once you take the lens off of this, you're exposing the sensor. There's the sensor in there. The sensor is the most expensive part of your camera, most likely. So you do not want that thing exposed to the elements for very long. So I get my lens, my body cap ready. I align it so that the little notch is up. And I quickly make the transfer. Also, just don't want to make sure there's any particles in here that'll get inside the camera. So here we go. Boom. This is relatively, I mean, these lenses are expensive, but like, you know, you can clean a lens and, you know, it's not going to be a big deal. You don't want to touch the sensor ever. They do sell like sensor cleaning wipes, but like I've never done it only because like it's very scary. But yeah. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take the EVF off. I'm going to break it all down, baby, to its constituent parts. Also, the EVF is also one of the more expensive and or very crucial parts of your camera. So I'm very, very careful with this. For the most part, I keep it inside this plastic bag here, this bubble wrap right here, whenever I'm not using it. It goes into the bag, in our camera bag, in this bubble wrap. Yeah. So, what else? Now this this part of the rig actually came off, but I don't think I need to take that part off. So I did experiment with where exactly I wanted it to sit. So this piece right here comes off, and I kept it. At first I had it in the center, but it was a little bit too far out. So I moved it as far this way as I can, so you can see the clearance between the handle is about a little less than an inch, but that was on purpose because I wanted the VVF to be a little bit over as far as I could. Okay, so how is this thing attached to the camera? I'll show you. Let me move the lens out of the way. So it's on the bottom here. Now I also need to remove the quick release plate for the Manfrotto. So let me do that. 2 screws. When unscrewing 2 screws, what ends up happening is, so the one plate is sitting on the other thing. And as you unscrew one, you're causing a stress in the plate if the other side is still in. It's the same going in. You screw one side down, you're causing like a stress in the plate, which over time could mess up the plate. So you want to unscrew and screw both of them obviously simultaneously would be good, but you want to do a little bit on each so that they come out like evenly. And you can sometimes it's even impossible to unscrew one if the other one is it's still too tight. So once I get it like finger tight, a little bit easier. And what's cool with these is the screws sit in there. They're designed to sit in there. There's a little rubber valve or a little rubber like thing right here which you would pop open, and then you can drop the screws out. These are two 3/8 inch screws in there right now, because the bottom of this plate has many different mounting options. In fact, I wish I remembered which one where it was. I think it was these two, right? Or was it here? No, I think it was there. I'll just remember that. So there's the plate. And then the cage itself is connected to the camera with these 3 screws here. 1, 2, 3. One of them is a flathead, and the 2 are an Allen wrench. I believe it's these. Yeah, so let's do the Allen wrenches first. I can get a stronger physical torque if I do it with the long side out. Like any lever, the further away you are from the fulcrum, the more force you can apply. So I'll screw these. Oop. That's exactly why I held the camera like this, so that the screw wouldn't come out, but of course it did. Do the same thing here. This one, I believe, just sits in the... I could be wrong, actually. Does this one come out? No, that one actually sits in there. It doesn't really come out. Although I think I have to take it out. It's not coming out. I think... Yeah, okay, cool. So there we go. Now the cage is off. And that screw just sits in there. You can see in the bottom, kind of just sits in a little pocket there. Eric, do you have a specific preference for camera repair services? Are the big mail-in services good, or can I trust like a local shop? That's a good question. I've had a couple of times I've had to send in my camera to be repaired, and I usually send it to the manufacturer. So the cameras I own, a lot of them are Canon cameras. So when I think like on my 5D Mark II, I had a dead pixel, and I called up Canon and I sent it to them, and I think it cost some money, and I didn't have the camera for like 2 or 3 weeks. But I would suggest sending it back to the manufacturer. A lot of the I think just about every camera manufacturer has its own repair service. And like, you know, they're the most trusted. They're the ones that built it. They're like really the experts, and they will do. They're almost guaranteed to do a good job on it. So, you know, that's kind of to me the easiest option. Also, I'm just unscrewing the little witness mark here that comes on the camera. The witness mark is where the sensor is in the camera. So if you were going to actually take a piece of tape measure and measure the distance between the subject and the camera, you don't measure the subject, you know, because look, just really quick. So the lens has, you know, distances on it. So if you were going to measure, if you wanted to really dial in your focus and measure from the subject's eye to the camera to get to dial in your focus, you don't measure from the subject to the end of the lens. You measure from the subject to the witness mark. In fact, you can just hook the tape measure on this. They sell tape measures with hooks, so you can hook it on there, pull it to your subject. So with this one, the cage doesn't fit unless you unscrew the witness mark, the witness post or the tape measure post. Anyway, so to get back to the repair shop, you know, the only way I would want to send or bring my camera, especially if it's like, you know, the biggest, you know, the most expensive piece of gear that I have. First of all, I would check to see if your camera is still under warranty, and try to get it fixed under warranty via the manufacturer. But the only way I'm really going to go to a local person is, number one, doing a lot of research, talking to them, you know, asking them, you know, if they have experience doing it, you know, asking around, finding other people who went to that person. And the only reason why I would even go to them is if I had like a shoot the next day, or if I had a shoot coming up. If you send the camera out, then, you know, it's going to be gone for weeks. So if you have a shoot coming up and you really want to use your camera, and if it's like a time sensitive issue, then maybe I would go to like a local shop. But and I could think of one or two. I know there's a shop in the city called Duall, DU-ALL, and they're really good at what they do. I've rented from them many times. I would trust them, but it would be scary. It would be scary. But I would check to see if it's under warranty, and I would contact Canon or whatever manufacturer. If you have a Nikon camera, I would send it back to Nikon. If you have Red, send it to them. Arri, send it to them. Canon, send it to them. Sony, send it to them. That's going to be like your safest bet. I wouldn't really go to any other like generic camera repair that we do them all. I mean, unless there would have to be some extenuating circumstances. So there's the camera broken down to this. I mean, this is it. It's so much smaller now, right? This is the camera with nothing in it. Nothing on it. So I'm going to put the camera aside. I'm going to tuck it under here where it's safe. And I'm going to show you how the cage came. Now, once again, I'm not going to take off the EVF arm, these arms here. I'm not going to take those off just because, like, I don't see the point of taking it off, putting it back on. There's also kind of a pain in the ass to get it on there. But suffice to say, this arm part comes off. It's also really light. I'm really, like, pleased with how light it is. If this was very heavy, it would be a pain in the butt to put it on my glide cam. But I'm relatively confident that like this will be able to balance on the glide cam pretty simply. But this isn't how it came. I wanted the cage for what you're seeing, the cage, the arm. That's not all that it came with. It actually had a part that was underneath here. So let me bust that out. That is, let me move this mouse out of the way. Let me move the EVF up here. Move my drink up there. Move this shit over here. Move this over here. This is the company that makes this cage you're looking at, Shape. Put that back. So, whoops. There's other like accoutrements that it came with. It came with these long, looks like, I want to say 15-inch long, 15mm rods. This might be just a foot. Let's see. Hang on. These are 1 foot exactly. I thought they were longer. So 1 foot long, 15mm rods. I didn't even take them out of the bag yet. But this is what came with the plate. So the whole thing came in this bag. There's screws I'm gonna lose, so I'm just gonna. So the whole thing there's bubble wrap, and this thing just came in the bag. There was some screws, random screws. Uh-oh. What happened? The computer does not. Oh boy. Check. The computer does not like when I bang the table very hard. So I got to be really careful about that. Sorry guys, let me just, my monitor once again shut off, so I'm just moving things off of the desktop. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing in here anymore, you could see. It's just those things and some random screws and some Allen keys and stuff. But got a lot of redundant things. But yeah, that's all it was. It was like bag, bubble wrap, it was wrapped in plastic. Now this is what came on the thing, and I'm going to show you now. These screws in here I just have these screwed in because I didn't want to lose the screws. So whenever I have a piece of equipment that screws are going to come in and out of it, it's nice, and it's usually a good design if there are screw holes to just they don't do anything other than hold the screws when they're not in use. So that's why I did that. It's also, you can see it's upside down. So it goes like this. You can see there's sort of a valley in here. And what happens is these screws go in like this. They drop down like that. So they come out the bottom there. And now I got to figure out what side is the front. I don't think it matters. I think it's pretty much, I think it's reversible, so I don't think it really matters. And let me use the Allen key holder. Oh, you can see it too. That's cool. Let me show you that. So with this, with the plate off, you can see where the Allen wrench goes. That's pretty cool. So I'll use that. Don't think there's really a front. Yeah, I don't think there's a front. I mean, the only difference is that this side ends in a big circle and this side doesn't. So that's one way. It kind of does look like an arrow going like this. Kind of does look like an arrow. So looks like the front is here. This is the front. So I'm going to point towards the front. So I'm going to go like that. Not sure if that's the way it's really designed, but that's what I'm going to do. Seems to be working. So I'm doing the first screw until it just doesn't want to spin anymore. Not tightening it. And then I'm going diagonally across to the next one. Same thing here. Just going till it doesn't want to go anymore. Diagonally across to the next one. And now, does it even fit? Now I can really tighten them down. And I'm not going to go too hard because, you know, I'm about to just undo it. Okay, oh, let's put it back. Let's put it back. Beautiful. So this is how it came. This is how the rig came. This thing on the bottom, and except for this part. And what you do is you put the camera in. For most normal people who are not crazy like I am, got to unscrew the witness mark. The camera slides in. What's stopping it? Something is stopping it. Or is it just, that's it? Oh no, that's it. That's where it goes. That's where it stays. And then you would reach in through here. Oh, see, I was right. That's why there was a front and a back to the plate, because if I put it in backwards, I would not be able to reach in my tool to screw the plate into the camera. So I was correct. This is sort of looking like an arrow towards the front. Very common on plates. Like you can see on this plate, right there. Lens with an arrow. Almost every plate has a little reminder for you where the lens is. So that's the way you got to point it. They are directional. So, I don't know if this will fit. Seems to be going. Are you going? I don't know. It feels like it's just a little off. Where is it? Is it in there? Whoop. Oh my god, that was stupid. It feels like it's going now. There it goes. Okay. I'm not going to tighten it like too tight, but it's in there, I think. Where is it? Well, I don't really know what the hell's going on, but you get the point. That's how it would be normally. And then what you would do is you would put the, you know, the base plate on the bottom here, and then you're on your way. So, and you might ask yourself, like, what are these rods for? Like, why are there even rods? And I don't feel like taking those other ones out of the bag, so I'll just unscrew these. So these rods would go in here like this, and what they're for, tighten it down, and what they're for is, I don't have any, we don't own any, but what you would do is you would have, yeah, this isn't really in there really good, but I don't think I'm ever going to do it this way, so there's no reason to. So there are other accoutrements that would go into these rods. So you can clamp on, they would have things that go and fit over these rods where it would have like a little gear to go up against the focus or the zoom. You turn a knob, it turns a gear, turns the focus. So you would focus the camera by a gear that's on the side that gets connected to these rods. There's also matte boxes. So there'd be a big matte box, which is like a box that goes over the front of the lens that you could put glass filters in. And those matte boxes all have like standardized little 15 millimeter hole receivers, you know, female to go into the rods so that you can put stuff on the front of the lens. That's going to be a purchase I think we'll get down the line. So a matte box, some filters, follow focus, but it is pretty expensive, those things. Like a follow focus itself, like a good one could be $2,500. So right now I'm happy with just focusing the camera with my hand on the lens. That's fine. Let me undo this. So price is a consideration. Shape, the company, does have a base plate that has the shoulder rig and has the plate like this, but it was very expensive. I don't remember how much it was, but I think it was over $1,000. This cage with this arm and this base plate, just that was like $830. You heard me right. $830 for this handle, this arm thing, the cage, and this base plate down here. $835 for the cage. That's insane. Shape. Why is it so expensive? Maybe it's so expensive because it's light. It's got a lot of mounting holes. Some thought was put into it. It's not perfect, though. It's not perfect. So for $830, it should be perfect. But it's not perfect. And, to be honest, Shape, as we'll see in a minute, your packaging leaves a lot to be desired. Just bubble wrap and a plastic bag for an $800 thing? Whatever. So they did have a base plate that was very similar to this one, with the shoulder mount and the arm and stuff like that. But we're talking another at least $1,500. You know, probably. I think altogether it probably would have been another like $2,500 for like a Shape branded full rig. And I figured with some research, I think I could find something that's just as good and cheaper, and I did. Hence this box right here. Kame, or Kame TV. I'll open that up in a second, but for right now I'm going to take the camera out of here and put it away for safekeeping. Yeah, I don't have it in there very good. You can see it's like wobbling. Oh, you're not even really seeing the camera in its original form, too. Technically, the camera has the grip on it when it comes out of the box. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember if the grip was on it when it came out of the box. So the cool thing about this is that this is called a rosette or something, and it has, you know, you can mount it in different ways. trying to do this so you can see it. So you can see it's got a little twisty knob here. So that's really the camera in its like full form. Yeah, and the just kind of goes up in here like this. So that's how the camera goes. And then to switch the grip, you go like that. Pretty cool. So I'll hide this down here for now. This is all the Canon stuff. This came with the C200, and there it is. Hide that for now. Now here's the cage the way it came out of the box, except for the arm part. Put that aside. And now we will go to the Kame stuff. Kame. Oh, I forgot to put the witness mark back on, or whatever this thing's called. The tape measure post. Now, the Kame TV base plate. I'm trying to remember how much this was. Check. Yeah. So here's what came with the Kame stuff. First of all, now Cody, my business partner, opened up the shape stuff. So there might have been a piece of an insert that came with the shape thing or instructions or something that he just got rid of. But knowing Cody, this is here. Knowing Cody, he would have kept it with them. But look at this. Nice card stock with the Kame stuff. Instructions. Shape. $830. You're not even going to give me instructions, my man? Come on. It's like I should just know. Like, what if I didn't know? What if I gave it to an assistant, a PA to set up? Anyway, annoying. So, there's the C200. So this rig is basically its own rig, but it just didn't have the EVF thing. I wanted the EVF thing, the arms for the EVS. I wanted this stuff. I like desired that. This thing is its own full thing. Like, this is designed to have nothing else in mind. Has a top handle, the quick release plate, the base plate and extension arm, and 2 front rods and 2 back rods. That's the whole thing. And let's see. There's no price on here, of course. I could look it up. But then look at this. Beautiful foam. Thick piece of foam. And then look, all this cutout. This is where the handle was. This is where the base plate was. They gave you a screwdriver. The extension cable. The extension cable was in here. The arm was in here. The rods were up here. The base plate was there. I mean, come on. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up how much from B&H this was. I'm going to type in the SKU into the B&H app. C200-PK01. C200-PK01. No, that's PL. PK01. Search. Kame TV shoulder rig for Canon. $426. Special order. And this was cheaper than every other thing that was like it. Still $430 though. Still a lot of money, but you can imagine how expensive the shape thing would have been. I don't feel like looking that up because I would have to find the exact thing, which I don't feel like trying to find. And then look at that, the back color. This is in color now. Instructions on how to lock it. Unlock and lock. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, shape? Why doesn't your packaging look like this? Why isn't there like a beautiful laser cut foam thing for your stuff? Why isn't there any instructions in your stuff, shape? You're so expensive, like you would think that would be like part of it, but no, I guess it's just like, you know, you're paying for the lightness of it, you're paying for the, you know, I don't get it. I don't get it. Made in Canada. Yeah. handle feels nice too. It's like it's got some weight to it. There's mounting points on it. I like how it's like you can see through it. It's got some good, it's got a good feel. It's got a good feel. So like it may be cheap, but it feels good. It feels really good. So I'm not going to take everything that's everything that came with this is already out of the box. I don't need any of that, but I'll show you it right over here. So it's right over here, obviously. So let's take it off. Also, the oh, I forgot to put that back in there. The base plate itself did not come with the tripod plate. This was a separate purchase. So this receiver for the base plate was a separate purchase. I don't even think this is Kame. It might be. I think this is just because this plate is like Sony proprietary. Sony makes these, and it's like, I don't know, $200 or something for this. No, it's not that much. But this one is like a knockoff. Feels great, and it's significantly cheaper. I'm not going to take off the base plate, but I have my tripod plate on the bottom of this. So these tripods have their own plates, and this tripod plate goes on there. So I put the tripod plate on the, I think this is called VC something. Anyway, so that's there. And now to break down this guy to show you how this looked. So this was the arm. It was in the foam insert. It extends, which is like, oh my god, that's great. This knob does it. Yeah, there's that. There is the rods. So I guess one thing that is a little bit strange is that most base plates, the rods go like all the way through. So you could put a rod all the way through. This one doesn't. This one goes into there. It stops there. And so the back one is actually not not a hole that you put the rod into. I didn't know this. You need to make sure you get the rods, and they give you ones with the threads on it so that you can screw it in. Now they do make rods that are longer. They make rods that are like this long that have the screw threads. But you'd have to buy that separately. They did give you these, looks like 4-inch long things. So for now, let's keep them out. And here's the base plate. So here's the plate just by itself. Shoulder plate. You know what? I'm not going to take this off. You could just imagine it. This thing comes off of this thing. Just imagine it. I don't want to take it off. But it is, what's cool is it is reversible. Yeah, or is it not? Oh no, it's just locked. That's fine. So unlock there. So the way these work is the bottom of these have these cool things like this. And when you slide it in, this catch comes over and goes behind this. So when you put it in, it now won't come out until you push this button, moves that little thing out of the way, and you can release it, which is really cool design. Most quick release plates are like that, but not all are reversible. This one's reversible, which is cool. So you can mount the camera backwards if you wanted to. Or it's just, not all of them are reversible. This one's not reversible. So like, look. I can put it in this way. And even though it's not locked down, it won't leave unless I push the button, and then it comes out. But it's not reversible. I can't do it this way. So you'd be surprised. Well, why would you ever want to put the camera in backwards? Or why would you ever want to do, have it go in the other way? It happens. Sometimes you want to mount something a different way, and it's just a little nice thing, but whatever. Tighten it down. So yeah. So that's everything. That's everything broken down. What time are we at? 7:12. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pee, and then we're going to put it all back together. And once we get it all back together, I'm going to do something that has not been done yet, which is to figure out a way to attach this microphone holder to the rig. I already kind of know what I'm going to do, but I'll walk you through the process of how it went in my head of getting this on there. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to put it all back together. See you in a minute.
You're the captain, sir. You're entitled.
Not entitled to ramble on about something everyone knows. You just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had the chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic. You'll have to call again. I'm just leaving. I'm not dressed properly.
My love is a people longing still for that which longer nurses the disease. You'll have to call again. In faith, I who not love thee, with mine eyes they be 1,000 errors see. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise. Who in despite of you are pleased to know. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
I'm back. Check. Whoa, I had to put a pillow down because this stool's hurting my butt. Okay, so everything's broken down into its constituent parts. Yeah, and we're gonna put it together. So yeah, let me move some stuff out of the way. Oh man, I got a case of the itchy bottom. Oh man, that's gonna be annoying. Ugh. Okay, so, oh, my bad. Let me turn this light on. So when I got the thing, this is how it came. The arm was not on the thing, so I screwed that on there. So that was first. First I put that on. Or did I? I don't remember. And then I was like, okay, how does this work? You know? And I was like, I was looking at it and I was like, I need to get this thing off. So I studied it for a bit and I realized that there were 4 screws down here. And that looked like the ticket to me. And I can't remember if it was now or... I think it was after I had it built that I realized that there was this little Allen key holder. That you know, that might be the $830 price tag right there. You know what? Just to have that. So it is a little expensive and the packaging leaves much to be desired. And I wish there was one more way to rotate this. And I wish this was a little bit longer. But for the most part, it's 95% great. The fact that you can even remove, like it took me so much research to find out whether this plate could be removed from this plate. That these are just held together by screws. I thought that they were just one piece of metal. It took me so long to discover that, like, oh, it does come off because I was able to find just the cage. So yeah. But then once I found that out, I was like, okay, well, I want the shoulder mount and I want this thing, but that is too expensive, so let me get the Kame thing, and I got to figure out a way to stick them together. So last night, I figured out a way to stick them together, and so that's what we're going to do. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible, but it's kind of hard to see. Come on. Once again, the long side, if they're tight, the long side is the way to do. And then once you got it like undone, then you can go in there and easily just finger twist them out. Beautiful. And then this will end up probably going on our other camera at some point. I studied it for a while last night and I was like, how am I going to get it on the other camera? And it's a little janky, but I figured out a way to do it. I won't get into how, but I did. And then, but for now, it's awesome that there's these little screw holes here. So, you know, because otherwise I could just take these screws and I could stick them in a bag with all sorts of screws. But, like, you know, if I ever have to, like, put this back on there, I'd be like, where are those 4 little screws that go with this? I'd be searching forever. So why do that to my future self? Just take the screws that go with it and stick them in these little holes here. That's what I believe they're for, but I could be wrong. I mean, obviously there are holes there for many reasons. You can get other accoutrements to mount to it. But for now, I'm going to put these on here. I'm actually going to tighten them because you never know, over time they could come off. So I'm going to tighten them. And this is going to go in the bin that's going to be like C100, that camera parts. And eventually we'll get the C200's little brother to have a Frankenstein version of something like this. So put that over there. Probably throw it. I'll probably end up putting this in the Kame bag because it's just such a nicer box, Kame box, because it's just so much nicer. For now, I'll just stick it over here. So now we got that thing off. I can put this back. So now the next bit was like, I think I should probably figure out how to put the C200 in this thing. Were there instructions? No. So I just had to play around with it. Not like Kame. Kame had instructions. I literally had to go to B&H. I had to get our receipt. I had to go into the thing, find the SKU, type in the SKU, and look at the pictures on B&H of how it's connected to be able to connect it. That's not cool. Shape. Get your crap together and put just a couple of pictures of how it goes together. Like, don't make me feel like I'm an idiot for not knowing. It's like, it's a complicated thing. you know, that has many different screw mounts and many different things, you know, and you could easily break it. So like, Shape, really, like for $830 for just this thing, give me one piece of paper with like a picture or two, please. Anyway, maybe that'll be the nugget, me complaining to Shape. But anyway, so that's there. So I think the next step is to get the C200 in it. And we'll take it from there. Because like once I start putting this thing on it, it's going to be harder or actually impossible to get a screwdriver in here to like screw it to the C100. So I have to get the C200 in it and screw it in before I can put anything on it, because I'm going to like be sealing up those screws. So let's do it. I believe I used these two things, which I had to like figure out. And this is how it came. So I was like, okay, well, I obviously need to take the controller off, the handle off. So let me do that. Little twisty thing. And there's this wire, and I was really concerned with. It's hard to get that out of there. I had to take actually first of all, I had to see whether or not this was like screwed in, which it wasn't. It was just pushed in, and I couldn't. I guess because it was right out of the box, it was like factory. I couldn't pull it out. So I actually had to take a flathead screwdriver, put it in, twist it, and pop it out, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but you know, it's not a bad thing. It just shows you that like it's in there good. You know, you're not really supposed to go crazy. And then I was sliding it in, and check this out, the witness mark, the tape measure post. See it? See it? I was like, and I'm putting it in. I'm like, okay, what is stopping it? What is stopping it? I'm like, the screw on the bottom is moved out of the way. I'm like, this thing is almost stopping it. So I was like, okay. And I haven't yet explained what this bracket is. So I was like, okay, I don't even know. I was like, I don't even know what that is yet. So I was like, okay, let me take that out. And I was like, it's still not going. And I'm like looking around, and then I see here, right here. So they literally have, you got to put the thing here, buddy. I'm like, oh, okay. But that's actually kind of cool, because it tells you, it kind of confirms when the camera is perfectly in, because this mark, the witness mark here, will line up directly under that witness mark there. And that's how you know it's in. So boom, now it's in. And I can't push it anymore. So it's designed well in the sense that like it should go until you can't go anymore. Then you're good. And just because we're here, I screwed this guy back in. Finger tight's good. It's another finger tight is good. I don't want to use a wrench to tighten that for a few reasons. One, it's a small screw, don't want to break it. Number two, putting a wrench on there is going to scratch it up. You're going to see little scratches. It's also why, like with this guy, this gets screwed in here. My instinct tells me, get a wrench, tighten it down, you know, just in case. But if I did that, oh, there'd be all sorts of scratches here. It wouldn't be good. Unless I had like a rubber thing to like grip that too, but whatever. So anyway, move this out of here for now. So now that's in there. Now I got to screw it down. So I'm holding the cage, I'm holding everything because it'll just fall out. And that's when I noticed on the bottom here that it just so happens to line up with these two things. You know, I was perceptive enough to know that. Now, someone who was not as perceptive as me would have just screwed the thing in here and called it a day. So once again, Shape, a little instruction manual would have been nice. And they give you screws, like there's little pockets in the Shape packaging of screws and Allen wrenches, and it's like, what are these for? You know, you don't know. So yeah, what I am going to do is, and once again, it's, you know, you should tighten them all lightly before you tighten them all down. So let me get out the flathead on my multi-tool here. This is a Leatherman rebar. I like Leatherman a lot, but I have used SOG. I have used other. I have a Gerber. Gerber's cool. This one's cool because, I mean, there's some things that are good about this. Just a little aside. We talk about multi-tools. So this one's cool because you can go like that, and you have like a longer tool, so you can really get in there, you know, and you can go like this. And if there's a tight spot, you can get this thing there, you know, and turn it. This one, the pliers part kind of slides down into it, and that's cool, but that doesn't go any more than that. And so if you have a the equivalent tool would be this, but to use it, I can't open it any more than that, so I'd have to go like this, and I just pinched myself there. So I basically have to close it. But if there are some situations where having the tool closed is not good, and you need to get in there like this. So it's a little bit of a design flaw, but it is cool because you can go like this. You can use centripetal force to open it. See? Which is pretty cool. Anyway, just a little aside. So I like this one better. This is my go-to. So yeah, so let's see if I can do this in a way that you can see it. So I'm just trying to find the hole. Doesn't seem to be going. So now I'm using the other two holes. Once I see those are aligned, then that should go in. There it goes. Okay. Took a minute. And I'll just kind of okay, I'm just to when I start to feel a little resistance. That's when I'll stop. Ooh, see, and it's twisting still. So that's why these two are important, because it stops it from twisting. So I'll drop this one in here. Just kind of, there we go. I'm kind of finding its place by moving the C200 a little bit. Same thing with this one. Just ever so slightly, millimeter back, millimeter forward. Just finding where this screw wants to sit. I'll use the short side to just finger tight, you know, not any resistance. And you want to make sure you go, you know, a little bit at a time. Like I was saying before. Okay, now I'll go. And what's also cool about the design of this is like I can go at a right angle. So now I have it at a right angle, and it gives me more torque. Can't do that with the other one. It only goes to like a 50-degree angle or something. Now I'm using the long side. Just going between the three of them. A little bit at a time. It's probably good. You don't really want to really go down on it, because some of the camera is made of plastic. And if you really dig into it, you're going to break the plastic. So that's really secure. These two here stop it from twisting, and this one here, you know, mounts it in the middle. Pretty good. Pretty good. The handle feels a little loose. I'm just going to go in here. Oh yeah, no, that's not loose at all. It's just me. It's just me. Yeah. So now the camera's in the cage. Feels good. Feels sturdy. While I have the cage, while I have this just going, I want to explain what this little bracket is. I thought this was pretty cool. I'm going to get a little bit closer here. I'm going to focus a little bit. So there's a little bracket here. A little thumb screw. Goes like this. I thought this was really cool. So what that is it's for the grip. So if you weren't going to do my setup, you would put the grip on here like this. You know, you would have it in some way around here. I guess, you know, it'd be like that. And then what you would do is you would put this guy up in here like that. And to be extra safe about it, what you could do is you can put this like that. So you can put this in here and kind of just like, you know, push upwards a little bit, screw it down. And now that's not coming out. That is awesome. I think that's super cool. If I could, well, maybe it is coming out a little bit. Okay. Let me do it again. And let me push up a little bit more. Now I'm like putting a little bit of pressure upwards on it. Beautiful. So if anything were to happen, if this were to get caught on something, there's probably a way you could also thread the cable like through the side here like that. I don't know. I just thought that was a little nice. I thought that was a nice touch shape. So pro for you shape for this little bracket that like holds that up in there. I mean, is it the most important? Is it a catastrophic event if this comes out? Not really. But you never know. This thing might come out and you might be having the grip and you hit record and you think you're recording, but you're not. And then you just lose a whole take because you thought you were recording and you weren't. You know, so nice little bracket, nice little design right there. I like that. Focus back up to here. Okay. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, so let's put this aside for now. And I guess the one last thing we could do is put the EVF on this, but I'm going to wait till the end to put that on because the EVF is, if that's on there and flipping around while I'm moving it around, if I break that thing off or scratch it, I'm going to be upset. And I forget where this went. Where did this go to? I don't remember. Oh, it goes to this, I think. Or here. It goes to this. It goes to the handle. Okay, gotcha. So this is the stock C200 handle. This is plastic. It's very lightweight. The Kame one, this Kame one here, feels real nice. It's like, let's listen to this. Listen to this one. Plastic, lightweight, cheap-ish, which I get, you know. There's other crap that they got to worry about besides the handle. And they know that third parties are going to make better ones. But this one is like, You could beat a man to death with this. Don't do that. But, you know, if an intruder came in your home and this was nearby, you could do some damage. Damn. Don't want to think about that. Anyway, pretty brutal. Oh, what is this too? Okay, so where were we? So now we're on to this thing. So I pulled this out and I was looking at all this stuff. And I'll save you the trouble of me doing multiple tries to get this plate lined up right. But it took, put the thing on, do it, put it on. Okay, so it's 1 inch forward. Take it all off, put it back on. Okay, there it is. So I'll save you that at least. So I determined that, like, you know, where it is right now is the best place for it. Once again, here it is. So what we have to do is we got to put this plate on the bottom of this. That did take some work. Oh, I never mentioned that there's the lock for this part is this thing where you pull down and up, and then that releases this thing, and then you hit this button here and it comes out. Cool thing about the design too that I didn't mention is, you know, I showed you before, there's the catch on the inside here, and the way this is designed with these little triangle kind of things. The reason why that exists is, like, if you forget to lock it, so it's not locked, you tip the camera forward. Uh-oh. You're lucky that it didn't fall out. It does. You can't even pull it out from the front. That's how good of a design it is. It happens. It's happened to me. You're on the tripod. You tip the camera forward, and uh-oh. If that design wasn't there, if that didn't exist, that design, and you forgot to lock it, this is falling out and landing straight on the ground, right on the lens. Push it up inside to the camera. It'd be brutal. And even backwards, you could tilt it backwards, and it's good. So obviously, you want to remember to lock it. But the way it's designed, and this is a standard design across all sorts of base plates and quick release plates. It's a standard design, but it's like such a smart design. Like I was saying before, even this one has it, you know. If you forget to lock it, it's not going to fall. Pretty cool. I always admired that piece of design. Yeah. This has also got some weight to it. It feels good. It's really dense, thick. It's like, I gotta admit, like Kame TV, for being pretty cheap, for being cheaper than like almost every other brand, it feels good. I don't know what they're doing. I hope it's not like slave labor over there. I don't know what they're doing, but it's definitely a Chinese company. It looks like Chinese text to me. Yeah, that's Chinese. So it's a Chinese company, but gotta admit, I like them. I hope they're like a moral company. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put this plate on the camera. Do I remember where it was? I do think I remember where it was. I think it was these two holes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eye it from the side here. I have to move this rubber thing out of the way a little bit. Cool thing about this plate too, I didn't mention, is for the most part, most cameras, most lower end or mid to lower cameras only have one screw on the bottom of the camera. Like for the most part, you're only going to deal with one screw. But a cool thing about this plate design, this is the Manfrotto quick release, is it has this little gold post right here that also kind of pushes down. And the cool thing about that is, usually on the underside of a lot of cameras, if there isn't another screw hole there, there's at least a little recess, a little hole that doesn't have threads that this little post fits into. And what that does is it prevents the plate from twisting. It's just a little hole, and a little post, and it sits up in there, and it just, if the plate starts to twist, it just catches. That's all. That's all it's there for. So that's what this little gold post does. It's not really being utilized in this particular setup. There is no hole for it, but the good thing is that it doesn't need to, because it's kind of got this little spring on it, so it just kind of collapses itself. And I don't need it because I'm using two screws, and the two screws will prevent rotation. I have to move this rubber thing out of the way just for a minute. But yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm kind of screwing them both down simultaneously. I also want to just make sure it's all the way back that way. Excuse me. And then I got to see if I can, well, what I'll do first is once again, if you missed it before, you want to try to tighten the screws a little bit at a time as you go down. You don't want to tighten this one all the way, then this one all the way, because you're kind of creating a stress in the plate. So I'm just going to do a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit more 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 there. So just ever so slightly, for each thing until, and I tend to over tighten stuff. You don't want to go too ham, but the cool thing is that this is metal. It is a $830 cage, but it's not the camera. So I really can kind of really crank on these pretty hard, and it's metal on metal, and it's not plastic. So hopefully I can really tighten it down pretty easily, and it won't break or crack because it's metal. Now this rubber thing has to go back in there, but it is a little, just kind of, there we go. Okay. So now we have, what is that? Hans Schuler just subscribed. Cool. That's great. I don't know if he's watching the stream. He could be watching a tutorial right now and just decided to subscribe. But regardless, thank you. Thanks, Hans. Okay, so now this is pretty much good to go. Except for the EVF. Obviously, I'll put the EVF on later. But so we want to work on this thing now. So what I would do is, from this point forward, is work on it on the tripod. So I'm going to bring the tripod in here. Let's make this a little bit taller. It's easier to work on the camera when it's on a tripod because I can spin it around, I can look at it. So yeah, so the cool thing is that the base plate is just designed with this. It's it's on there. It's connected. But the cool thing is that there is a 3/8 screw mount right there. So if I needed to put like the tripod plate just on this guy, I could, which is pretty cool. But it's really designed to be in one of these plates. VCT, I think, is the name of this kind of a plate. So what we'll do is we'll put this on here. Love that sound. And there we go. Now we're on there. And now we can use the Manfrotto plate. Oh, yeah. And I just like to make sure it's flush. Right there. Oh, right there. Anybody who's savvy would also notice that this screw right here stays out. When you buy this Manfrotto base plate here, by default, this thing has a spring. So if I if I pull this out and let go, it would automatically snap back. For instance, it's a very common thing in film gear. So here's a screw right here. Here's a thumb screw. And it has that exact thing. So I can screw it down. I can get to a point where I can't go anymore, and I can pick it up and keep screwing. And pick it up. But you can see as if I let go, there's a little spring inside which pulls it back. And for the most part, 9 times out of 10, 90 times out of 100, you want that spring, so it pulls it back in. For me, because sometimes this piece is in a tight spot, like you can see it's in a tight spot, and I also aligned it so that it would be free up here. It's obviously going to hit this thing, but that's okay because it's free up here. But it's just, I basically disassembled it and I took out the spring because it's just a little bit easier for me to deal with this when there's no spring involved. Has this affected me in any way? No. It never really has affected me in any way. Maybe one time I was shooting at a strange angle and it kept falling out. So I just took a little bit of gaff tape and I gaff taped it there. That's so rare though. For the most part, it sits pretty good right there. So we're getting there. We're getting there, folks. So here it is on the base plate. And if you don't remember, like the reason why I used this thing is so that I can come out of this, and I can go right on the glide cam. Here's the glide cam again. So that's why I have this base plate on here, is because there are situations where I'm shooting where I want to go from tripod to handheld to glide cam to handheld to glide cam to tripod to glide cam to handheld to tripod to glide cam. And having this universal plate on all three things is great. It also, this base plate is heavy. The arm's heavy. I want to put the lightest weight on the glide cam as possible so it doesn't kill me, and also so that I can actually balance the thing. And so by keeping the Manfrotto plate, closest to the camera, this is relatively light compared to everything else. It's just going to be bare bones pretty much, except for one battery. Let's put a battery on. So the battery goes on by keeping it to the right, pushing it in flush, push it to the left. To get rid of it, battery release goes like that. And this is a big boy battery. Come on. There we go. This is a big boy battery too. Out of the box, this was an extra purchase. This did not come with the camera. The camera came with a smaller one. We had to buy the larger one, but we also have these batteries. This is the way you want to go. There's two purposes for these. Number one, obviously, battery life. You want to keep it going as long as possible. And the second thing is it acts as a counterweight, but we'll get to that. So keep that battery out. Let's put it back on here. And you know what? Since we're talking about batteries, let's throw that on right now. So, like I had mentioned before, the back of this, you would think it would have See, I didn't know this until we got it, but this front part has the holes, and you tighten it down. So I would tighten it there. Or maybe not. Why is that not tightening? Oh, is it not far back enough? This is my first time doing this, so let's figure this out. Loosen these a bunch. Loosen this a bunch. Let me tighten it down. There it goes. Okay, cool. So, interesting. If I tighten these, I'm going to tighten this all the way. So if I tighten this all the way, I didn't realize this. If I tighten this all the way, then it's all the way inside, and it's now being blocked. So I have to loosen this a bunch to be able to get this to go in all the way. Then tighten it down. Now it's in there. Did not know that. Not every 15mm rod system is like that. But for now, I will tighten this down all the way so that it doesn't get loose. And these thumb screws are most likely also, yeah, spring. Just like this guy. This has a spring in it. Which is great. Another great design when it comes to camera stuff. But the back is not like that. The back is a screw only, which is very interesting. I'm going to probably have to eventually purchase 2 more of these with the screws just in case. But also maybe longer ones at some point. I'm going to need a longer one. But the cool thing is that there's also a thread inside these as well, so you can add 2 of these together. So maybe what I'll just do is I'll get 2 more of these. I think these are 4 inches. I can get 2 more of these 4 inches and just stack them, which would be cool. Now my gut, like I was saying before, I really want to grab a wrench, grab this, and go so it's like in there. But if I do that, it'll scratch it, and I think it looks really sexy without any scratches on it. So I'm just gonna do the best I can with my hand. And now we'll add the battery plate. Thing about the battery plate that I'm conscious of, also it's kind of got this pivot point here, so that's kind of cool. So we'll go like this, we'll put it on. Let me loosen these actually. Loosen. And put it on. Just leave it flush with the back and leave it straight up. Now the most important thing for my rig with this battery plate is that I can still take the camera off easily. So I'm just going to test that. Loosen the little thread here. Push the button here. Can I take this off? Yes, I can. That's important to me. If this was any closer, I wouldn't be able to take, I would have to do a little bit of an adjustment. So let me also wrap this around here. Be nice to have like a Velcro or something to like keep this cable nice and tight in here. But I don't want to do it, I don't want to really go too hard with this because, it's metal and I don't want to break this thing. It's just, the cable inside is metal, and so if I really, then I can damage the cable, which I don't want to do. Although it just doesn't look super nice. It is what it is though. As long as there isn't any loose cables hanging to get caught on stuff, then that's fine. But if this was a little bit closer, then I would not be able to get the camera out as easily. And I would have to make some adjustments. So, for me, quickness and ease of changing between tripod to glide cam to handheld, that's what I'm really going for. I'm going for, can it be moved around to different stabilization methods easily? And the way this works too is it's very similar to this plate down here. It's got like a V. This has a catch. You just go like this. Doesn't have a nice click though. It's in there. But I wish it had. It doesn't have a nice satisfying click. That sucks. But whatever. It is what it is. Okay. So there's the back of the camera. I could check the life of the battery. It is full. So now we just need the front. So here's what I'll do. Here's the arm. We're just going to screw it on right here. Cool thing about this is that I think this is called a rosette. So it has these little teeth, and this has little teeth, and so it's really in there. It's good design in terms of like not moving. If it was smooth, it would potentially slip. But look, even just like finger tight, it's not moving because of those teeth. And then what we can do is we'll put this on here, this way. So the cool thing about this grip is that it has record. I should loosen this a bit because it's like a little constricting. Yeah, I'll loosen it at a different time. But like iris, and then back here there's like magnify. This can control the menu, push it to select. Record, so it's really beneficial, and I use it as a weight bearer. So I like to hold it kind of like this, so that the weight is going into the heel of my hand. I don't like holding it like this. That's weird. Kind of want it like this. But also, Canon, the button should be here. It shouldn't be up here. The button should be here because I'm holding it like this. So I want the button here. I don't want it here. I gotta go like. To record. I just want to go like this, boop, and I want to have this is also in a weird spot down here. It's like, it's a little weird. It should be right here. Menu, magnify, and then like, I don't know. Record maybe should be here. Boop, boop, boop. So record should be here, and then like the menu button should be here. But instead they're like in a weird spot. Whatever. It is what it is. So let's get this in here. The back of this grip has the teeth as well. Come on, get in there. Okay. Now, I should really put the EVF on, but for now I'm just going to pretend that it's on. And what I like to do to adjust this rig is I like to take it off, put it on my shoulder, and loosen everything to the point where I can move it around a bit, you know? So there's 3 points of movement here. It's kind of dangerous to do this, but so what I'm doing is I can move it in all these directions now. So what I'm doing is, now that everything's loose, I'm kind of just finding where my arm wants to live. That feels good right there. So now what now the hard part is now tighten that. Tighten that. Tighten that. Just finger tight. Now that they're all finger tight, I can really give it the old hard tight. And that's how I position the initial setting for the arm. And now that it's there, I can readjust as I go. But this is pretty good. The only problem is down here. Like I want to control the menus here. But it's like, I gotta almost take my hand out. So maybe, even though I would like to have it in the heel of my hand, I can afford to rotate it slightly. Maybe there. And even though I don't really have it in the heel of my hand anymore, I'm gonna have to adjust it slightly this way so that the corner is in my heel. But at least, and I'm gonna have to loosen this too. This is too tight. But at least now I can kind of control the menus a little bit easier. Can hit the button, hit this. Yeah, this definitely needs, this is too constricted. I'm going to loosen that. But like, even though it's not, I would love it if it was this way, but I can still kind of use the heel of my hand there, and it's a little bit easier. So I like this. That's good for now. And the last bit is taking the extender arm. And what we'll do, like before, is we'll undo this. This is at a right angle too, so I don't know if that's good or bad. I think I would probably want this not at a right angle, but it is what it is. Can't see. I'm trying to do this for you guys so you can see, but I guess having it at right angles maybe a little bit better, because then this can push up against that. I'm just going to hide this up here for a second. Okay, it's in. How do I want to do this? Maybe I want it kind of coming out this way. I'm into that. I think that works. So now this guy probably would be beneficial to gaff tape this or clamp this in a certain way. But for now, I'll just kind of go like this. Maybe another one. Probably put a little gaff tape there. The cool thing is, because of this bracket, you really can put a little bit of strain on this, and this kind of relieves that, I guess. But yeah, okay, let's try that. Excellent. I do wish, Kame, that this was a little bit squishier. It's a little stiff. After a while, it's going to hurt the shoulder, but it's working. Feels good. Okay, so let's put this lens on, just so it looks like a camera. Nice. And then the EVF. Let's put the EVF on. Ta. Doesn't need to be too tight. Now I don't have the cable. Let me get the cable. Hang on, be right back. It's not the longest cable in the world. You know, I've never done this. I'm a little scared. Not the longest cable in the world. It is a pretty thick, brolic diesel cable, though. There's a lot of wires inside, a lot of different pins. Looks like there's... Holy crap. I don't know if you can see this. A lot of pins inside. I don't know. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little ones and 2 big ones. And there might be one in the middle. 12, maybe even 13 pins. I bet you if you needed to replace this cable, it would be money. And it looks like it's reversible too. Yeah, I can choose any side. So the way this works on here, right there. I like that it's this way, because at least it's like, it, you know, makes sense. So you just push it in. It's got like a little sleeve, and you just push it in. Just make sure the hours align. You don't want to bend any of the pins. Boom, and it's in. And to get it off, pull the sleeve, and then it comes off. So that's pretty cool. Definitely, oops, I don't want to push it. There we go. Definitely an expensive cable. Now, it goes to right here. Looks like it's going to be a pain in the butt to get to. Right there. So, how the hell Oh, wow. That is tricky. But I got it. Nope. That is tricky dicky. And where's the arrow? The arrow's on top, so the arrow needs to be on top. Okay, so go like this. Arrow's on top. I might just have to remove that whole thing. Oh, man. Guys. Oh, man, that's brutal. That's as far as it comes out. That is not good. Doesn't look like I can rotate it at all. That's a little brutal. It's really in there. Come on. All right. All right, we're in. That's a tight fit. That's a spicy meatball. Now, obviously, look, it's in front of the lens. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. So some sort of rerouting, I'm going to have to undo. Well, you know what? That side's in there. I'm just going to leave that in there. So let's reroute this. Let's go through here. Nope, no, there is no through there. Let's go like that. Yeah, that works for now. Good enough. It's out of the way of the lens. Cool. That, I believe, is it, folks. There it is, the full rig. Ready to go. I do love this handle, though. I love the wood. That is awesome. There's the whole rig. I might as well turn it on, right? Might as well. I'll go like this for you. All right, here we go. Says it's on. Nice. Does the grip work? Grip doesn't seem to be working. There's the iris there. Okay, it's been a while since I've messed with this thing. Where is the ND? Okay. Okay, ND is off. Cool. All right, let's mount up. Shoulder up. Oh, the fan's right in my ear. It's blowing a cool breeze on my ear. The monitor is a little slouchy. I wish it wasn't slouching. $830. Why is it slouchy? I want it to be here, and it's there. It's just a slight off. That's annoying. Also, I feel the EVF wanting to tilt it this way. It feels strange, but whatever. Yeah, it's not perfect. I'm still going to have some adjusting to do. But it's pretty good. I don't know why the handle's not working, though. The handle's not working. So I'm going to have to figure that out at some point. That's disappointing. But yeah, I'm very happy. This is a good rig. Cool. I do think the monitor is a little too close to my face. I would like it a little bit further out, and it is a little bit limp, so I don't know what that's about, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. For $830 something, it should be more than pretty good, but I'll keep tweaking. Well, there we go. I think that's it. I think that's going to be the stream. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, nope. Wait a minute. Let me shut the camera down. There is one other thing. So I am going to take off the EVF for now because I'm just scared. Get rid of the cable. Put it down over here. Okay, so what I do want to do right now is mount the microphone holder. So this is the stock microphone holder. It's supposed to go in the top handle. It's supposed to go like this. Right there, I think. Something along those lines. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's supposed to go like that. And then I was wrong about before. The EVF holder goes in here, like that. So those marry nicely. So you have this weird contraption on the top of the camera. The EVF would go here. But I don't need this anymore. So I have to figure out a way to get this thing on here. So I think after kind of dealing with it for a while, obviously, well, not obviously, but there is no place really to mount. This is just an awkward piece. This doesn't really go on here anywhere. The microphone needs to be facing towards the front. So this piece needs to be like here, needs to be like there. That would be perfect. And I think I see, so this microphone piece is connected to the main, this main crossbar here by these two screws. And so it looks like I can take off just this piece, and there's a little 1/4 inch hole that I think I can just mount right to here because of the cage. So, remove this. I'll do this for now so you can see me. Actually, that's not a bad orientation for that too. That's not a bad place for that actually. Puts it a little bit further back. I gotta try that out. But for now, I mean, I have my Leatherman, but I also have a screwdriver right here. So and of course, if you know me by now, those two big screws come out, two long screws. What to do with those screws? Well, I'm going to put them right back in where I took them out of. In case I ever want to redo this again, I don't have to go looking for those exact screws. There they are. This guy, on the other hand, I might even find a nut to put here so that it stays on there, but I'll do that at a different time. Now we have the microphone handle, microphone holder. If you want to know how it goes in there, this thumb screw unscrews all the way and it stays in there. Opens up, microphone goes in, closes it back up. So now there are definitely some screws that came with the stuff. So I'll pull out a few of those screws. Not in the Kame bag. Looks like it's in the shape box. We got a small one here. Another small one, it's the same size. And there are some longer ones there. We'll see if I need the longer ones. It's either going to be a long one or a short one. I don't know. And we're going to need this. Yeah, we're going to need that. So, let me lower this for you guys. You don't need to see it all. Give it a little tilt for you. Looks like I want to try to get it right here. Let's see. I mean, that looks perfect to me. It's a little in the way of the handle. Ideally, it would be like here. That way, even a big fat hand could come in and grab this handle. If it's here, it's like a little tight, but you know, I guess it is what it is. Could go here, but no, it's not going to go there because that'll be in the way of the EVF. I suppose it could also go like on the edge here like this. But that seems a little funky to me. It just doesn't aesthetically, doesn't really feel right there. It feels like it should go here. And there's two holes. There's one here. There's one further up. But I feel like that's going to block the handle even more. So I'm going to do it in the back one. So let's see if the short screw will work. Drop it in. It's pretty short. I might want to grab the long one. I mean, it's fine. A little toy in here, little toy. It's also plastic. I don't want to go too hard. Yeah, nailed it. That looks about right to me. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty dope. It's pretty good. I do have another microphone I could throw in here just to see how it looks. This might be the mic that we end up using for it. I mean, it's not the best mic in the world. It's from an older camera. But, the windscreen's a little verkakt. But, yeah, it looks like it'd fit. Let's do it without the windscreen for now. I don't have an XLR cable at the moment. But there you go. Yeah, pretty good. That looks good to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm hitting the mic with it, but it doesn't really impede my grip at all. It's not a big deal. Obviously, it would be nice if it was just an inch this way. Not even half an inch this way. It would make a perfect grip there. Cool. Yeah. And since we're here, let me, well, see, I'm starting to grab it by the mic. Now with the battery in the new position, let me see, how does it feel with the battery there? Oh, actually, I think I like the battery there. Feels a little better. Feels a little bit more balanced. Yeah, I think I like it down. I think I like it there. Yeah, definitely. That's better that way. I like that. Better balance. This is bad. I mean, but it is what it is. It's a Canon. It's the Canon camera. I want the camera over my shoulder, but because the Canon camera is such a thin camera, it means my hand is like I'm like eating my hand. You know, doing focus and zoom and focus. So like, even a focus knob would be like right here, which would be like better, but it would still be like so close. Usually it's like out here, you know. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, well, there we go. Let me, that's not good. I gotta grab the handle, not the mic. I gotta get used to that. All right, well, let me bring this back up. There it is. The full rig. Don't have the EVF on, but whatever. It's beautiful. It is really nice. Very into it. Well, I guess I'll just sign off to this camera here. Yeah, so if you were watching, thank you so much. A little bit different of a stream today. It's about gear and about the C200, putting the rig together, breaking it down, putting it together. Yeah. So tune in next Monday for back to editing in Premiere, and should be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Happy filmmaking. Peace. Peace. Good night. Thanks for joining me.